Hello everybody, it's Ethan here. Wanted to get back and make another video about this bike. Several people commented on a couple, or at least one of my old videos, about wanting further updates to how this guy has lasted. Honestly, I have started engineering school, gotten married. I think I've moved several times in the last couple years, so I haven't been riding as much as I would like. Can't really comment on the longevity since I haven't been riding that much, but I did want to make a little video because when I am going out and riding, I'm getting a Creak. I don't know if this is because this wasn't tightened well enough. The actual bottom bracket itself has not been tightened or maintained at all since I got the bike, which has been at least a couple years. I have tightened a couple of these, but they're kind of hard to get to. Hey Evs, come say hi. Say hi. What's it? Not the brightest dog in the world, although she is a good girl. I have gotten a tool to remove the chain ring, or the belt ring, I guess, which was the thing that was holding me back from being able to tighten these bolts down. I think what I'm going to do is try and pull this off, put either some grease, maybe some grease, what do you call that? Some carbon grease in there. See if that helps the creak, because it's actually incredibly annoying. Other than that, I mean, the bike's been holding up, but I haven't been riding a whole lot, so we will see how this goes. I'm going to pull off the rear wheel first and talk to you in a minute. Okay, so I have the belt pulled off here. I threw the wheel kind of loosely back on just so it would stay up. I didn't want to pull out a stand if I don't have to. And then I am going to try to pull this guy off the crank first and then see if we can get this, I don't know what you call that, little ring nut something off. Okay, so to pull off the crank here, this guy's at 10, these guys are 4s on the outside. I always forget whether you're supposed to undo these or this first. Here we go. I'm going to start with these. I used to screw this up on Shimano's all the time. So we will see if I'm an idiot still. The answer is yes. Now that I'm doing this, I'm remembering that you do the outside ones first, otherwise you can't turn this guy because it's clamped. That may be not the case. I don't remember. Doesn't matter. Okay, and that will be good to get in there and clean. It's actually not too bad. Okay, now to use this nice little let's see here. Now to use this nice little P9511. It's actually fairly expensive. I had to buy it from Germany. I think it was around 50 all in all, so I'm not sure exactly. But it's reverse threaded, it appears, so we'll see if we can't get this guy off. I am going to need my handy dandy little strap wrench, which I bought from Gates. This guy was really cheap. I think I got it for like 10 bucks with a manual little belt tensioner. Okay, so it ends up that I do not have the proper tools to use this thing, even though it has several ways to use it. It has a 1/2-inch little square ratchet, which I do not have an adapter for. Then the outside is 27 millimeters, as you can see here. The inside is 1/2-inch adapter, and then this is an 8mm wrench I'm using. Fits fairly well. I'm not sure I'll be able to get enough torque, but we'll get this sucker off. It's not very much leverage, to be honest. Okay, there it went. Maybe even got that on camera. Okay, here is the little nut that was on there. Clean that sucker. And we're down to this guy also came off. There is a little spacer or washer on the back side. Don't lose that. And we're down to the splines here. I'll clean these guys out. As you can see, these guys is actually kind of cool. These guys turn independently of each other depending on the gear that you're in. Right now, it looks like I'm in a high gear. Go nice and fast. We can show you, shift it way, let's see here. So there you can see, I don't know if you can see, but the inside's rotating a lot faster than the outside. Anyhow, okay, up close and personal here, you can see that there is a nice little bit of gunk in there. We'll clean that sucker out, try and get in here fairly well, see what we can do. The threads are actually on the outside here, so I'm going to try and get that nice and clean in here. I'm not uber worried about. Try to get these threads, and then all the spines pretty clean, and then we'll try and pull this guy off. Okay, so as you can see, these big torque screws right here are the ones that are actually going to let this thing pull off the frame. They have matching heads on the other side, so I'm assuming what is going on is there's a bolt and then one is a nut, essentially. We will find out. These smaller guys are actually keeping the case together, I believe, and they have the little safety tab there. These big ones do not. Let me double check on the other side. Yep. No safety notch on those guys. This guy, I believe what's causing the creak is probably at least this guy. I was just messing with this. That's how it was sitting when I was writing. Yep, that one's loose as well. Yeah, all three of them were loose. So I believe that is what's causing my creaking. The issue was that I was not able to get to at least these two, I believe. So what I'm going to do is pull them out, see what's going on, if there's, maybe clean them, throw some paste in there, or at least some grease, and we'll try and get rid of that creak. Okay, so I got all these screws out. The ones on the non-drivetrain side were actually a lot tighter, so I'm assuming what happened, I don't actually remember, is that I couldn't get to these two for sure because the chain ring was in the way. That one I'm not sure what was going on because I think I could get to that. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just an idiot. So this guy should come off here. Okay. Let's see here. It's kind of some lips there. So that was actually up against the frame, so it would be nice to clean that, and then I'll show you actually up in there, because that's kind of cool. There's the underbelly. You can see, let's see here. I don't know if you can see up there. So, and the way this thing is attached is these are actually threaded, so there was a bolt, just a bolt here, they don't actually connect to each other. So that's a pretty cool design right there. I believe they call that, no, I believe they call this the yoke. I don't remember what they call this guy. Pretty cool. I'm going to clean this out. Okay, so I decided while I was at cleaning this to clean both sides. I'm not making it, I'm not going to eat off it, but just cleaning it up a little bit. I decided to pull off both sides. Actually, I'm going to try and weigh it. I'm not going to pull these cables off, but see if I can get a fairly close reading of it. And then I'm going to weigh these guys. I'll probably upload a different video with that. There's some more little, I don't know what you call these, washers, nuts. And they actually are both, there's an inner one and an outer one, and one is smaller and one is larger than this guy. So I figured I'd at least see, and it's probably best that it doesn't fit, because I'd probably take the thing apart and that wouldn't be good. So, and once I cleaned it, actually, this guy slides up on there real nicely. It moves a lot more freely than it did before. So I'm going to tighten this guy back down after I weigh it. I'm just going to throw regular grease in here because it's just, you know, a bolt. There's no way I'm sticking carbon grease on the threads. So, we'll see how that does. I'm also going to throw some grease around the edges here for when it does creak. One thing interesting that I noticed here is that there's actually, I'll bring you up real close, you can see this little chip right there. It's not a chip, I don't know what it is, but it actually is from that guy right there. So I think the frame actually flexes quite a bit. And I kind of crank on this thing, so I think it has rubbed, and probably when it's loose. I don't know if that's causing the creaking. You can see that these guys have definitely rubbed, because it was, I believe, powder coated. If I can focus. It was powder coated, so it's definitely rubbed. So, didn't do a great job cleaning. Okay, one other thing I wanted to actually show was the bottom of this guy. Those are like little dings all over there, which is pretty cool. They barely, I didn't even realize I was hitting, but it eats them right up. Without like a bright light shining on them, you really don't even notice them that much. They actually honestly look more just like little dirt specks. So that thing's pretty rock solid, because I'm sure I've hit some stuff harder than I should. Not really, because I don't ride very hard. Alright, I'm going to throw this sucker back on here and make sure I have some clean bolts. Okay. So one thing to note as I'm putting back on is I'm only using grease, but when I pulled these bolts off, they definitely, I don't know if I can find one with that you're able to see it, but there is some blue Loctite on there. This one actually by far has the most. There was not much on there, so it'd probably be a good idea to throw some back on, except that I don't currently have any. And I'm taking responsibility if I screw it up. Okay, these guys are all started. I'm going to tighten them here. One thing is that I think it's because these guys were looser on this side, where the powder coating rubbed only on this side. This side didn't really have any of that wear, and the bolts were tight. So we'll see how that works. I also put some grease between the actual gearbox and the frame. So I'm going to let that, let that hang, I think. Yeah, because it's not going to make a difference as far as dirt getting in. And it's going to slide down. It's going to want to when I pedal anyhow. Okay, and I'm going to pull out my handy dandy torque wrench. Torque these to exactly the number that I'm sure they put in the book somewhere. I'm living on the edge, baby. And back on with ye old, get some grease on those threads. Slap that bad boy on there. Nice greased up little ring. Another one. Oh, you know what? It's reverse threaded. So there's that. Oh, joy. Ye old strap wrench. Okay. Actually, work smarter, not stupider. Okay, I think that'll probably hold. If not, it's only a few grand. Note with these guys, these little compression clamp screws, you want to do them evenly, go back and forth. If you've never messed with these, get a nice even squeeze because it's actually keeping it on here, so you don't want any weird binding or what other mechanical issues can go on. And remember, torque it exactly to spec, as I am. Alright, I got it all back together. I'm gonna take her out for a spin and report on how it is. Alright, just took it out for a spin and was pretty silent, so I'm pretty happy with that. Good little deal there. Can always tighten it again if I need to, but it's good for now. The animals are out to join me on a beautiful day here in Colorado Springs. Until next time.